Hey up internet and welcome back to On the Sofa Live. If you're new, do subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay in the loop. Okay, so much to get through. Let's crack on, shall we? I mean, the first thing we obviously need to talk about is the Makerfield by-election. So the poll should be closed by now, but I don't think we'll actually get any results until tomorrow, or maybe even Saturday, but we'll see. But in the meantime, let's take a closer look at the candidates. There are 14 candidates in total, so let's have a closer look at them. This is from the Who Can I Vote For website. And this is a list of all the 14 candidates running in the Makerfield by-election. So we've got Jake Austin from the Liberal Democrats. Let's have a closer look at him. Jake Austin is the Liberal Democrats candidate in Makerfield constituency in the UK parliamentary by-election. And apparently his favourite biscuit is bourbon. And of course, we all know about the Liberal Democrats. I don't think I need to say much about them. But the reason I wouldn't vote for the Liberal Democrats if I was living in Makerfield is because I don't trust the Liberal Democrats. I haven't trusted them ever since they went into coalition government with the Tories in 2010 and voted alongside them for their cruel austerity measures. So I don't trust the Liberal Democrats. It's that simple. Of course, there's Count Binface. And we can I think by now we all know who Count Beanface is. He's become a bit of a celebrity. He stood in quite a few elections over the years. But let's take a closer look at his policies for Makerfield. He's made a CFAX-style video for us. It's by-election week, and not only am I the only candidate to offer a manifesto for Makerfield, I'm presenting it via the majesty of CFAX. Behold! Let's take a look. And let's start from the beginning. This takes me back. Makerfield great again. One, I will cut your taxes and raise everyone else's. Seems fair. 2, all flake 99 ice creams to cost no more than 99p, and Wigan kebabs to be price capped at £2. 3. Rephase the traffic lights on Liverpool Road to ease congestion. 4. Corners to be refereed properly in football. This is brilliant. Oh dear. 5. People who use speakerphones on public transport to be conscripted. That's a great idea. 6. Wi-Fi on trains that works. Also trains at work. Brilliant. I love it. Absolutely love this. 7. The £6, 6-metre Ashton in Makerfield regeneration scheme, or rather the £6.6 million Ashton in Makerfield regeneration scheme to be regenerated. 8. Pensions to be double locked with an extra little chain on the side. 9. Cyclists who break the highway code to be forced to ride unicycles instead. 10. Elected mayors to be ineligible for Parliament until after their term of office. I wonder who that's about. Oh dear. Here we go. 11. Free parking at the Gerrard Centre to be increased to 3 hours. That sounds good, actually. 12. Auto-renew on all online subscriptions to be abolished immediately. Yes, brilliant. Yes, I'd love that to be put in place. 13. HS2 to be renamed FFS1 and rerouted so it plows through rail execs' homes. That is awesome. "14. Galloway Bakers full Monty bin lid breakfast to be Britain's new national dish." 15. Tries in rugby league to be increased from 4 points to 5 points in line with inflation. 16. CFAX to be brought back for the entire Greater Manchester area. Oh, why not Leeds as well? I'll have to move to Manchester, to Greater Manchester. This is brilliant. 17. MPs to lose their subsidy for cheap food and drink in Parliament. Yes, yes, getting. 18. The hand dryer in the gents' toilet at the Crown and Treaty Pub, Uxbridge, to be moved to a more sensible position. 19. Count Binface to be the UK's entrant at Eurovision 2027. Oh dear. Oh. 20. I stand by all my past manifestos. Croissants, Brexit, Trident, building at least one affordable house. I've got it all covered. Brilliant. Make it feel great again. Both things. That is awesome. That is that is awesome. Brilliant stuff. Oh. So that's Count Binface's manifesto. Let's have a look at the rest of the candidates. Andy Burnham from the Labour Party and the Cooperative Party. I think I've said enough about him in previous videos. But one thing I will say about Andy Burnham, in my opinion, he's just going to be a continuity candidate. And he's basically just Keir Starmer with a northern accent. And he's making all these promises, but I don't think he's going to keep them. I don't think he's going to be able to keep them because he wants to stick to the fiscal rules. So his hands are going to be tied. So I don't think he's going to be able to keep any of the promises that he's making. Dan Clark from the Libertarian Party. Dan Clark is a Libertarian Party candidate in the following elections. Holton local election for Farnworth ward by-election, and of course UK Parliament elections for Makerfield constituency by-election. Dan Clark's policies. I'm Dan Clark. I am the Libertarian Party parliamentary candidate for the Makerfield by-election. Which is taking place on the 18th of June. I am also standing in a local council by-election for Farnworth Ward, Widnes, which is taking place on the 25th of June. Our main principles are lower taxes, maximum personal freedom, and implementation of a constitution for the United Kingdom. We want to enshrine the right of digital freedoms into constitutional law. We are completely against the digital ID that this authoritarian government is obsessed in pushing through. The big issue I see in Makerfield are huge dislike of Keir Starmer. This is definitely a by-election to get rid of Starmer, regardless of who wins. If I win, I will champion constituents' right to privacy. I will work tirelessly to stop digital ID from happening. People have a right to privacy. I don't know how it's going to stop digital ID from happening, since it's just one person, and the Labour Party have a stonking majority, so they can do whatever the hell they want. If they want to push through digital ID, they will. So how he's going to stop it from happening? Your guess is as good as mine. The time for classical liberalism, libertarianism, is now. The movement is growing. We are fighting more elections. We are showing the UK that we are here. We are serious and we will eventually succeed. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh God. You're Delulu. You're Delulu, mate. Jesus Christ. Absolutely Delulu. Who else have we got? John Dyer, Independent. Oh, they don't know much about him, but there is a homepage for him. Let's have a look. Oh, oh no. Oh, this is embarrassing. This is shit. He looks like he made this himself. It looks like if I feel like I've gone back in time to the 90s. It feels like I've gone back in time to the time of AOL, Yahoo, and Ask Jeeves, for goodness sake. This is embarrassing. Shell's nuclear crimes. Prior to publication of the enclosed allegations, I, John Alfred Dyer, given specific prior notice to the Royal Dutch Shell Group, following the dispatch of CD copies of this site. It contains allegations to Shell's appointed lawyers in this matter, D.J. Freeman, the group's legal head, Richard Max Wiseman, Shell Transport and Trading Chairman, Mark Moody Stewart, Royal Dutch Shell's Chairman, Jeroen van der Veer. We all have declined to commence issue proceedings, despite their specific legal threats. For the past 13 years, I, John Alfred Dyer, have been researching the decommissioning in 1968 of Shell's Thornton Research Centre's Shell Military Nuclear Reactor Testing Cell. I'm not going to read all of this. Sorry, too long, didn't read. He's got a beef against Shell, basically. That's his main platform. Gordon Bennett. Ed Gemmell, Climate Party. Ed Gemmell is a Climate Party candidate in Makerfield constituency in the UK parliamentary by-election. His favourite biscuit is homemade chocolate brownie. Let's look at his homepage. Ed Gemmell for Wickham. Where's Ed? Ed's running for MP. Literally running. Where? For months now he's been pounding the pavements of Wickham. No stuffy suits for Ed. Just a pair of shorts his sons would rather never see again, trainers that have seen better days, and his usual Climate Party t-shirt. Ed for Wickham. Let's see if we can find out some more information here. Okay, so pro-Wickham, he's campaigning for the Wickham Museum, Wickham A&E, a regenerated town centre, the River Wye, Wickham Town Council, Wickham Youth Incubator, protecting green spaces in Wickham, pro-climate, launched No Disposable Cup Day, Hazelmere Council passed a binding motion declaring climate emergency, led the delegation for Scientist Warn in Europe at COP26, leader of the Climate Party, pro-business, advisor to Aim High Earth, an organization that empowers companies to achieve a sustainable transition, campaigning to protect Wickham Business Hub. Okay, that's Ed Gemmell. Who else have we got? Paul Gould, Independence. Paul Gould online. We don't have Paul Gould's contact info. Can you add it? Let's see if I can find out some more information about him. Let's see if we can find out some more information about this guy. This is from the Manchester Evening News. He is running in the Makerfield by-election, but wants to talk about something else entirely. There's a photograph of Paul Gould there. Paul Gould, who is standing as an independent candidate in the forthcoming by-election in Makerfield. One of the 3 independent candidates running in the Makerfield by-election has revealed why he put himself forward despite not being from the area. Self-described Mancunian Paul Gould, who currently lives in New Brighton on the Wirral, grew up in Stockport, and said both sides of his family, going back to his great-grandparents, are from the region. While many candidates will be pitching themselves to voters on local issues, in the upcoming Makerfield by-election, Mr. Gould's campaign has a wider focus. Running from the Peak District to the Wirral coastline, plans for a 120-mile pipe are being developed to transport carbon dioxide from the cement industry and put it underground in depleted gas reserves under the Irish Sea. The Peak Cluster project is expected to cost £5 billion, and over £28.6 million of public money has already been allocated towards it. The plans are still in their early stages, with more public engagement expected in the future. Ultimately, it will be the UK government who decides whether the project can go ahead. Those behind the project say it will protect industry jobs and tackle carbon emissions from concrete production. However, it has faced hostility and protests over the scheme's impact on the environment cost, as well as safety concerns. The proposed route for the Peak Cluster does not run through or anywhere near Makerfield constituency, but is close to areas of south of Manchester like Macclesfield and Alderley Edge. However, Mr. Gould believes voters should still care, and his opposition to the project is what drove him to put his own money up and run. Mr. Gould told Manchester Evening News he was not a politician, adding, I felt if I was going to attention this issue I really care about that isn't being discussed, as it's not very prominent in media nationally. Nationally, it's clearly a non-starter, and it's almost not mentioned at all. That is really why I wanted to stand. I don't know how much traction it will get, but I thought I've got to do it. Okay then, that's why he's standing. I think we can close some of these tabs now. Let's crack on. There's Howling Lord Hope, the official monster raving loony party, Howling Lord Hope's policies. We can confirm that our glorious leader, Alan Howland Lord Hope, with selected agents, will be standing against Andy Burnham in the forthcoming election in Makerfield. We can also confirm that there is no intention to launch a leadership bid to replace our leader. We can also confirm that we will be making every effort to win this seat and we will be throwing everything at it. This election has come about so that Andy Burnham will be eligible to mount a leadership bid against Sir Keir Starmer. However, with the help of the voters in Makerfield, we can cause a major upset in Labour rebels' plans. Let's be honest here. This election has nothing to do with the aspirations of the voters. They are being used as a pawn to change the Labour leadership, not to raise issues of importance to the constituents of Makerfield. Josh Simmons said in his election speech, "I will be your MP, your voice, and your advocate. My door will always be open. Tonight is the beginning of a mission." He didn't say, except if someone else comes along who needs my seat. That's a good point, actually. That is a really good point. Not to mention the people of Manchester who will need a new mayor. So this exercising Game of Thrones will cost the people of Manchester and Makerfield a lot of upset. Watch this space. Of course, there's Rob Kenyon from Reform UK. The less said about him, the better. I've already made a video about him. Rob Pownall. A fucking fox. What the fuck? Rob Pownall. Rob Pownall's policies. Why am I doing this? Because I simply do not trust this government to deliver for animals. They've already U-turned on banning animal trophy imports, abandoned plans to ban foie gras imports, and allowed 2 more years of badger culling despite manifesto promises suggesting the exact opposite. Right now, there's a public consultation underway on banning trail hunting, but I still fear it won't go far enough. There is still no clarity on whether all the loopholes and exemptions in the Hunting Act will finally be removed. No clarity on how they will actually ensure the hunting of wild mammals is ended for good, and no clarity whatsoever on when meaningful legislative action will happen. We cannot afford to sit back, hope for the best, and allow this issue to quietly fade away. This by-election provides a national platform to raise these concerns, to pressure the government to finally end hunting as quickly as possible, and to send that message directly to the man who could become the next Prime Minister. Fair enough. Rebecca Shepherd from Restore Britain. Sarah Wakefield from the Green Party. I really like Sarah Wakefield, actually. I think she really did well on BBC Question Time, arguing against Rob Kenyon. I think she made a good, and I think she made a good argument for the Green Party. But unfortunately, in this constituency, I don't think she has a chance. The Green Party not polling very well in this constituency, which is a shame because I think she's a good candidate. But who knows? Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. Peter Ward rejoin EU. Peter Ward's policies. Rejoin EU party announces candidate on Makerfield by-election. The Rejoin EU party is pleased to announce that barrister Peter Ward is to stand as its candidate in the Makerfield parliamentary by-election. The by-election was called after Labour MP Josh Simmons decided to stand down and make way for Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham to contest the seat. However, Burnham has reportedly said he won't be campaigning during the election for the UK to rejoin the EU. Rejoin EU believes Burnham's stance is unsustainable and that he and his Labour colleagues will stand no realistic chance of achieving the significant boost to the economy that they and the country so badly need without at least rejoining the single market customs union and ultimately the EU itself. The thing is, Labour aren't talking about rejoining the EU. The Lib Dems aren't, and the Tories aren't, and Restore and Reform, certainly aren't. But do you know which party is talking about rejoining the EU? The Green Party. So why the hell didn't Peter Ward just join the Green Party and help their candidate to get in Makerfield instead of running for on their own? When they were, if I can get the words out, instead of running on. Why are they doing this? Why are they running on their own when they will probably stand a better chance with the Green Party? Because let's face it, he's probably going to lose his deposit. But if he'd just joined the Green Party and helped their candidates to get in Makerfield, that would be a lot. That would make a lot more sense, in my opinion. And finally, there's Michael Winstanley from the Conservative and Unionist Party. I don't think we need to talk about him, do we? So that's it. Those are all the candidates for the Makerfield by-election. So watch this space if you want to find out the results and what they mean for the future of this country, because I'll be talking about that shortly on this channel. So if you don't want to miss out, do subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay in the loop. Excuse me. So let's move on to the next item. So much to talk about. Oh, yes. This is hot off the press. There. I'll start again. This is hot off the press. This article is from the Metro by Barney Davis, Night News editor. Liberal Democrat MP Cameron Thomas suspended from party after police probe. And there's a photograph of him there. Liberal Democrat MP Cameron Thomas has been suspended. Okay. Oh, here we go. A Liberal Democrat MP has been suspended from the party after he was arrested. Cameron Thomas was arrested by Gloucestershire police on Wednesday night, it is understood. A party spokesperson says Cameron Thomas MP has had the party whip suspended pending the outcome of a police investigation. We are unable to comment further while the police investigation is ongoing. The MP for Tewkesbury started his career in politics, having called time on a 23-year Royal Air Force career, which saw him deployed to Iraq, the Falklands, and Oman. Oops. He has previously hit out at Elon Musk, calling his interest in Southport riots was based on the billionaire's nostalgia for white supremacy. Mr. Thomas travelled to Kiev in March to deliver aid and was named on a Russian stop list. The MP said the ban didn't make any immediate changes to his travel plans and gave him the greatest possible endorsement of his parliamentary activity. This is a breaking news story. More to follow. Like I said, this is hot off the press. And it's a breaking news story. We don't know what he was arrested for. We only know at this stage that he was arrested and he's had the whip taken away. So I guess that means for the time being, and pending the outcome of this investigation, he's going to be an independent member of parliament. But it's not looking good at the moment. But we'll see. It depends. It depends on what he's been arrested for and whether or not he's actually found guilty of said crime. There may need to be another by-election in this area. But I guess we'll see. I'll keep an eye on this message and I'll keep you guys informed. Watch this space. But for now, let's move on to the next segment. This story is from Novara Media. Palestine action ban ruled lawful by Court of Appeal. The government has won. By Harriet Williamson. The government has won its appeal to keep the ban on Palestine action, while the Direct Action Group's co-founder, Huda Amori, has vowed to fight proscription all the way to the Supreme Court and the European Court of Human Rights to overturn one of the most extreme attacks on free speech and the right to protest in modern British history. The Court of Appeal today overturned the High Court's February decision that the ban was unlawful on the grounds that it is disproportionately interfered with free speech and assembly, and that then Home Secretary Yvette Cooper had breached her own process during the prescription. The Court of Appeal's decision means supporting the Direct Action Group, which targets businesses complicit in Israel's genocide in Gaza, will remain a criminal offence punishable for up to 14 years in prison. A panel of 5 judges, including Lady Chief Justice Baroness Carr, the head of the Judiciary of England and Wales, Master of the Rolls Sir Geoffrey Voss, Justice Edis, Lord Justice Lewis, and Lady Justice Whipple, ruled that the government's decision to prescribe Palestine action struck a fair balance, and the Home Secretary is better placed than the courts to decide on the balance of rights. The Lady Chief Justice confirmed that the Bank-Melat balancing test had been applied to determine whether the ban disproportionately interfered with the People's Article 10 right of free speech and Article 11 right to free assembly under the European Convention on Human Rights. In delivering her ruling, the Lady Chief Justice focused on the Home Secretary's responsibility to protect the public, the operational benefits of prescription, and the rights of third parties, including lawful businesses like Elbit Systems. Protect the public? What from old ladies, from the disabled, for people holding placards? Yeah, right, sure. She did, however, recognize that the prescription is highly controversial, and there is widespread support for both Palestine action and the Palestinian cause, adding, "We accept that there are many people who may be subject to a chilling effect due to this decision." The Lady Chief Justice said Palestine Action is not a civil disobedience group engaging in peaceful protests like the suffragettes. The suffragettes were not peaceful. They chained themselves to railings. One of them threw herself in front of the king's horse. They used to bomb places. They were terrorists. They were even more extreme than Palestine Action have been. They harmed people and harmed themselves and in some cases killed themselves. They were more extreme than Palestine Action, so I don't know what she's talking about there. She described Palestine Action as a covert organization that has revealed little about itself and said it overtly proposes unlawful violence to destroy the property of third parties. What about the violence carried out by Israel against the people of Gaza and the West Bank? What about the thousands of innocent civilians, many of them women and children, who have been killed over the last 3 years or so? And not only since October the 7th, but for decades before then. What about all the violence carried out by Israel? But that doesn't count, apparently. These people seem to care more about violence against buildings than violence against actual people, for goodness sake. Hundreds of protesters gathered outside the Royal Courts of Justice in London for today's ruling, including the descendants of Holocaust survivors against genocide. Protesters, some dressed in medical scrubs, held signs that read, "I oppose genocide. I support Palestine action." There was a heavy presence of Metropolitan Police officers. In a statement, Amori said, "We will fight this all the way. We will seek permission to appeal to the Supreme Court, and if need be, take this to the European Court of Human Rights. We are confident that we will ultimately succeed because criminalizing peaceful political protest in this way is a flagrant violation of our fundamental rights and freedoms in Britain, protected in the Human Rights Act, which enshrines the European Convention of Human Rights. We will not stop fighting to overturn one of the most extreme attacks on free speech and the right to protest in modern British history." Amori called the prescription an unprecedented abuse of power that has devastated the lives of thousands of people while silencing dissent over Israel's slaughter of the Palestinian people during the genocide, when that dissent could not be more urgent. Palestine action was prescribed under the Terrorism Act 2000 in July 2025, making it the first direct action group to be banned under UK terror legislation and categorized with the likes of ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Amori challenged the prescription via judicial review in a historic first. Amnesty International, Liberty, and the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Protecting Human Rights whilst countering terrorism, Ben Schul, all made formal interventions in the judicial review in support of Amori's submission that the ban on Palestine action is unlawful. More than 3,400 people have been arrested for peacefully protesting the group's prescription since it came into force, more than during the entire war on terror. Last week, 4 Palestine Action activists convicted of criminal damage at a facility owned by Elbit Systems, Israel's biggest weapons manufacturer, were sentenced as terrorists despite not being found guilty of a terrorism offence. Charlotte Head, 30, Samuel Corner, 23, Leona Cameo, 30, and Fatima Zainab Radwani, 21, damaged Israeli military assets, including drones, during Israel's ongoing genocide in Gaza. For this, Justice Jeremy Johnson found that the offence in each case has a terrorism connection. Israel are the terrorists. Israel are the real terrorists, and the IDF, they are the terrorists. They're the one bombing children. They're the one killing thousands of people. Sorry, I laugh when I'm nervous. But they're the real terrorists. These people, Charlotte had Samuel Corner, Leona Cameo, and Fatima Rainab Rajani, and their colleagues in Palestine Action, they're trying to stop the terrorists. They're trying to stop the terror. They're trying to save lives. They're heroes, in my opinion. Corner was also convicted of grievous bodily harm without intent. This move was kept secret from the jury, and this is the first time direct actionists have been sentenced as terrorists for non-violent criminal offences. This is an outrageous. This is an outrageous travesty of. And I'll start that sentence again. This is an outrageous travesty of justice. It really is. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay, let's crack on. Right. I'll keep going around in circles. Hang on. I will get this correct. Hang on. What am I doing? Reform Party UK Exposed posted this. Reform UK's councillor Gemma Painter here endorsing the "I would rather vote for Jimmy Savile" message in Makerfield as she campaigns for Rob Kenyon reform. Gemma is Kenyon's fellow councillor on Wigan Council. She also works for an estate agent that lets HMOs despite campaigning against them. And there's some photos here. Nice afternoon in the sun, out speaking to the residents of Makerfield. And there's the photo. Yes, I would rather vote for Jimmy Savile than Labour. What a disgusting thing to say. They're showing a great deal of disrespect to his victims. That is disgusting. That is really gross. Let's take a look at some of the replies. Brexit Buster said this, and they mean it. After all, Reform UK Limited is a party that's elected a bent ex-cop jailed for theft and fraud, who is also a convicted paedophile on the sex offender register as their election candidate for Leeds, Central and Headingley in 2024, only dropped after media exposure. And he's got some receipts. There he is. Denny was found guilty in February 2019 of having two images, one of a boy aged 15, 17, and a girl aged 10 to 12, on a USB memory stick at his home in Hinckley. He was given a 12-month community order and placed on the sex offenders register for 5 years. Ex-police sergeant dropped from Reform UK after Mail on Sunday investigation revealed prior conviction for possessing indecent images of children. And there's more evidence there as well. Reform UK candidate dropped for possessing indecent images of children. Rachel H. posted, "Now you're posting AI crap." To which Reform Party UK Exposed replied, "Oh dear, is Stephen Ponal, the man standing with them, also posting AI crap? Sorry, Rachel, but you're defending Savile jokes." Yeah, there's another photo of the man holding up the sign again. And there's another photo of the sign on the person's car. One of the lads told some reform campaigners about my sign. They asked, was it okay to come and take a photo of it? Oldham anti-fascist MBE asks, is this a genuine pic? It's vanished from her page. Reform Party UK Exposed replied, yes, got it from her Facebook, which now seems to be deleted. There's another pic of the sign. Duffy Nuffy said, so she works for an estate agent that rents out HMOs. So what's she supposed to say to her boss? I won't rent out HMOs? Seriously, what an idiot you are. This is why we on the right think you are clueless. Your obsession with reform is bordering on obsession, mate. To which Reform Party UK Exposed replied, her boss is Lee Moffat, another Reform UK councillor who also campaigns against HMOs, you idiots. And also, Duffy Nuffy focused on the HMOs but failed to answer the Jimmy Savile sign. Didn't say anything about that. Kimru Baith, hashtag FBPE, posted this meme. How does Reform UK propose to carry out its unsubstantiated promise to reopen blast furnace at Port Talbot Steelworks? ST posted, oh yeah, because reform will protect women. Reform MPs have voted against legislation to protect women from stalking, harassment, upskirting, spiking drinks. There's a solution, but it's not reform. Good point. Simon said, I don't think I trust him alone with a child. Dave R. said, what a disgusting statement for reform campaigners to make. Surely Lee Anderson, Nigel Farage will take action. I don't think they will somehow. I hope Makerfield voters reject them. Well, we'll find out tomorrow. MPC said, the disrespect for the victims of Savile is shocking. It says everything about Reform Party. They're in the gutter. Yeah, exactly. Helen Smith said, so they'd rather vote for a dead paedophile. Says it all. Niall Tubes said, blimey, they're getting in with the pedo support early. At least MAGA waited till Trump was actually in power. Check his computers. And Don't Look Up said, deform UK knuckle draggers and poorly educated gullible numbskulls. Hashtag plastic patriots. I'm not sure if I agree with the language used there, but I think I know where it's coming from. I think I saw something on Threads about this as well, but I could be wrong. Excuse me. Let's have a look. Maybe it's here. Whoops. Oh. Or maybe not. I'll forget about that. Yeah. Anyway, I'd rather. So you'd rather vote for Jimmy Savile than Labour? What a sick, twisted thing to say. That shows a great deal of disrespect to the victims of Jimmy Savile. That is really disgusting, in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay, let's move on from that. This is hilarious. This story is from the Canary. Hannah Spencer explains £2,000 Gucci. Sorry, I'll start that again. Actually, I'll come back to this article in a minute. I wanted to show the actual video that she made herself first. But where did I see it? So organized. Was it on X? Let's have a look. Yes. Ha. Good. Okay, let's start this again. Yes. Aaron Bastani posted, for fuck's sake. So here's the video.
£1 Gucci shirt. At least that's what the establishment are saying. And
so here is Hannah Spencer to explain the controversy.
So this shirt that I wore in Parliament this week, I got it about 15 years ago from Oxfam when I volunteered at Oxfam Originals. I love it. But something phenomenal happened this week when I wore it at Prime Minister's Questions. It underwent a remarkable transformation. It went from being a charity shop find to apparently being a £2,000 Gucci shirt. At least that's what the establishment are saying. And wouldn't be like them to lie, would it? Why would they spread misinformation about me? Why would they do that? Why would they want to discredit me? Anyway, to the charity shops, the vintage shops, anyone selling pre-loved stuff like this to find it a new home, thank you. To Costa Brava, a very well-known designer brand, thanks to you as well. And to everyone else, send me your stuff because I know Jesus is out there turning water into wine, but hon, I'm out here turning charity shop finds into designer clobber, apparently. So this shirt that I wore.
Yeah, that's hilarious. No, it's not like the establishment to lie, is it? Unbelievable. Absolute scenes. So let's have a look at the article. This is from the Canary. Hannah Spencer explains £2,000 Gucci shirts by Willem Moore. On the 10th of June, Green Party MP Hannah Spencer caused a commotion when she implied the Reform politicians behind her were dirty and grubby. Given factors like the £5 million gift Nigel Farage tried to hide from the public, it proved difficult to argue against this accusation. Instead, Reform's defenders accused the pro-equality Spencer of being draped in exquisite Gucci. Now she's taken her accusers to the cleaners. And Joseph Wells tweeted, "Don't believe everything you read on right-wing medias in papers and more. The shirt Hannah Spencer wore at P&Q's is a 15-year-old charity shop find, not a £2,000 Gucci purchase, like many would want you to believe. Why would people spread misinformation about Hannah?" And of course, we've seen her video. Hannah Spencer, exquisite. For reference, this is what Lee Anderson and Sarah Poaching looked like when Spencer referred to the dirty grubbiness behind her. Their faces. Oh my God. Lee Anderson looked shocked, and Sarah Poaching looked like she just swallowed a turd. Oliver said this, "There's plenty of dirty grubbiness behind me. Look at their faces." Well said, Hannah. Oh dear. Running a business as a plumber, I was well used to dealing with dirty grubbiness, and there's still plenty of that dirty grubbiness behind me. As we've reported, the dirty grubbiness comment was no doubt in reference to stories like these. Farage brought £1.4 million house after undeclared £5 million gift. Former Reform leader Gill sentenced to 10.5 years for taking bribes. Reform councillor fined £40,000 for hiring illegal workers. Reform candidate Goodwin took fat salary from Hungarian far right. Former Tory donors flocked to Reform, including a massive donation from Thai-based billionaire. Reform candidate became councillor despite anti-Semitism expose. In response to Spencer's attack, the dirty grubbiness defenders accused the Green MP of being stylish and well-dressed. This tweet is from Claire Adams. "Nothing says fight the wealthy elite quite like delivering the lecture in a Gucci blouse. We see you." Now Spencer has explained. So this shirt that I wore in Parliament this week, I got it about 15 years ago from Oxfam when I volunteered at Oxfam Originals. I love it. But something phenomenal happened this week when I wore it at Prime Minister's Questions. It underwent a remarkable transformation. It went from being a charity shop find to apparently being a £2,000 Gucci shirt. At least that's what the establishment are saying. And it wouldn't be like them to lie, would it? Why would they spread misinformation about me? Why would they do that? Why would they want to discredit me? Anyway, to the charity shops, the vintage shops, anyone selling pre-loved stuff like this to find it a new home, thank you. To Costa Brava, that very well-known designer brand, thanks to you as well. And to everyone else, send me stuff because I know Jesus is out there turning water into wine, but hun, I'm out here turning charity shop finds into designer clobber. Brilliant stuff. And here's that Costa Brava label up close. Sunderland Lollipops tweeted this. Hannah Spencer and Gucci Gate is fascinating. It's actually a cheap blouse from a charity shop. But why can't a Green Party MP wear what she wants? Even a £1,500 blouse. I bet many of the MPs' Savile Row suits cost more than that. Hashtag sexism, hashtag shallow, hashtag fuck reform. Dr. Mariana Claire Baranovich said, how embarrassing for all those who claimed Hannah Spencer was wearing a £1,800 Gucci silk blouse. Yeah, exactly. It is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. They should be embarrassed. It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. They want to make her out to be a hypocrite, but it's blown up in their faces. Indefensible. It is clear why the reformoids immediately went after Spencer. If they didn't, people might have started asking, what is that makes reform so dirty and grubby? When voters are debating the ethics of high fashion, they're not asking about Farage's links to crypto industry, or Reform's links to the fossil fuel industry, or Richard Tice's tax arrangements, or ... Yeah, exactly. But they're basically saying, don't look at the real grubbiness of reform. You know, look here. Look here at this made-up bullshit about Hannah Spencer's so-called £2,000 blouse. It's absolutely pathetic stuff. This is absolutely pathetic. And it's blown up in their faces. They've been made to look like fools, like idiots. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay. I think we'll do one more story and then call it a night. Forbes declares Elon Musk as the world's first trillionaire. New York, June the 12th, 2026. On Friday, Forbes declared Elon Musk as the world's first trillionaire, as SpaceX's stock began trading on the Nasdaq at $150 per share, giving the company a nearly $2 trillion market cap. Forbes estimates that the IPO has boosted Musk's fortune to $1.1 trillion as of Friday morning. His net worth rose by $188 billion to an estimated $982 billion on Thursday evening, when SpaceX priced the IPO at $135 per share. Looking at Musk's wealth portfolio, the SpaceX chairman, CEO, and chief technical officer owns 4.8 billion shares of SpaceX, worth $715 billion, and has another 350 million stock options worth $50 billion, giving him a 38% stake in the company. Learn more about the breakdown of Musk's wealth in this story published today, and there's a link to the story. Musk first debuted on Forbes' annual World's Billionaires list in 2012 with an estimated $2 billion fortune, making him the 634th richest person in the world. From there, it only took Musk just 9 years to become the world's wealthiest person for the first time in January 2021, as Tesla's share soared, propelling Musk past Bezos for the #1 spot. And I'm going to leave that article there. I want to talk more about this. My so-called life, aka Will. Hello. Hello, Will. Welcome. It's good to see you. Yeah, there's more to be said about this. Or is it? Yes, it's not an X. Okay. Oh, hang on. It'd help if I stop sharing that. Okay. Let's share the right screen, shall we? Oh, Will saying, I'm drinking coffee and enjoying your show. Nice one. Gemma Forte and Marina Purkis had this to say: $1 trillion, we try to wrap our heads around how much that actually is. Sorry, I'll start that again. Gemma Forte and Marina Purkis, on their podcast The Troll, had this to say: $1 trillion, we tried. I will get it right. Gemma Forte and Marina Purkis from the podcast The Troll had this to say: $1 trillion, we tried to wrap our heads around how much that actually is.
Are we thinking hamster, like a money hamster, just storing wealth in its cheeks, and the cheeks just get fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter until the hamster is just one big ball of grotesque fur?
just from a numeric perspective, 12 zeros in a trillion. There is now nothing like that man can't do. He is, well, apart from being, charming and likable and
Yeah,
all
having
those kinds of
friends.
things, have respect.
So 1 million seconds ago was about 11 and a half days ago. Okay? Is that right?
That's good.
Yeah?
That's a good example. That's quite manageable.
Right. But 1 billion seconds ago was 1994. Are you ready for where 1 trillion seconds ago gets you to? We're going in the time machine. Where are we going back to? Are we thinking Georgian era? Are we thinking Elizabethan? Are we thinking, what are we thinking? We are back to 1 trillion seconds ago. Takes you back to 29,700 BC.
Bloody
So basically, woolly mammoths were alive, Homo sapiens hadn't yet invented writing, and we were painting on cave walls.
That trickle-down economics, it really works, doesn't it?
Yeah. And if you're not subscribed to the Troll, then I really recommend it. It's really good. Yeah, some great points there. It makes you think, doesn't it? Yeah, that puts it into perspective. If you go back in time 1 trillion seconds, you get back to when woolly mammoths were still alive, for goodness sake. And Will says, crazy. I love random facts like that. Yeah, they're great, aren't they? And then there's this. This is fun. This is from Al Jazeera. Can you spend $1 trillion? We hand you Musk's fortune to find out. By Mohammed Haddad. On Friday, Elon Musk became the world's first trillionaire after his company SpaceX launched its initial public offering. A trillion is a 1 with 12 zeros, or 1,000 billions. To try to make sense of that, even if you burn through $1 million every day, it would take 2,700 years to spend 1 trillion. With $1 trillion, you could fund global famine relief 166 times, provide clean water to everyone on Earth for 20 years, rebuild Gaza 14 times, or give $125 to every person in the world. Because there's nothing like spending money, even imaginary money, to understand its scale, how would you spend $1 trillion? Use the plus buttons to add items to your cart and see your allocation across 35 categories. Okay, so let's see what we can do with $1 trillion. Year of US military spending, 954 billion. Okay, so let's add that to our cart. We've still got a long way to go. 4.60% remaining. International Space Station, $150 billion. Okay, we'll have one of those. Oh, that takes us over the budget. Okay, let's not have one of those then. Rebuild Gaza, shall we try to do that? Over budget. Okay, let's do that instead of the military spending. Whoa, okay, that leaves us 93% remaining. How about clean water for everyone for 1 year? 88% remaining. Fund global humanitarian aid for 1 year. 44 billion, 83.60% remaining. Fund NASA for a year at 24.4 billion, 81.616% remaining. James Webb Space Telescope, 10 billion. Still got a lot left. Golden Gate Bridge for 8 billion, 79.36% remaining. Global Emergency Famine Relief, $6 billion. Let's have one of those. Still got loads left. A Formula One team, 3.5 billion. Still got loads left. Burj Khalifa Tower, 1.4 billion. Still 78.26% remaining. Premier League Club, $1.5 billion. Trump Tower, New York, 500 million. A medium-sized modern hospital, yes, we'll have one of those. 78.04% remaining. What else could we do? Let's see if we can do some good stuff. Ebola vaccine dose, $100. Let's see how many of those we can buy. Let's say if we buy, hang on, let's max it out. Oh, 7.8 billion. Yeah, that's all of it spent then. Okay, let's can we clear? Can we clear it? Yeah, reset everything. Let's just click on the society tab. Okay, rebuild Gaza. Let's start again. Rebuild Gaza. Clean water for everyone for 1 year. Fund global humanitarian aid for 1 year. Global emergency famine relief, $6 billion. Medium-sized modern hospital, 200 million. Tuition at Harvard. And Ebola vaccine dose, $100. Scroll for more. But if we buy all of those, that still leaves us with 829 trillion, 799 billion, 937 million, $900. So you get the picture. You can do all of that stuff and still be the richest person in the world, basically. Unbelievable. And Will says, I would buy my entire town. Then I'd kindly ask everyone to leave. Then I would build a moat. Fair enough. But I can't even begin to get my head around $1 trillion. You know, that's the kind of thing you'd expect Dr. Evil to demand. I've got all the nuclear missiles aimed at the moon, and I want $1 trillion. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous amount of money. You just can't get your head around it. You know, who does that? Who hoards that much money? Seriously, I'm certain that he could give me $10 billion and make it, $10 million and make that money back in 10 minutes. That's how much money we're talking about here. It's ridiculous. No one should be a trillionaire. No one should be a billionaire either, in my opinion. Billionaires and the one trillionaire should be taxed out of existence. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay, I think that just about wraps everything up. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. And if you're new, do subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay in the loop. Okay, bye for now.